Good morning, everybody. This is Rachelle with Grief Recovery with Rachelle. So I've been receiving the same kind of question lately, and I thought, I'm just going to talk about it on my video today. So the question that I get a lot is, how is grief recovery different than regular therapy? Oh, great question. I love that question. Therapy, I did therapy myself. Therapy was great. I did a program called EMDR 100 years ago. I think it was 26. I was a new mom at the time, and my first time out of work, and I had been sexually abused starting in 5th grade for a couple of years, and I never paid attention to it, ever, ever, ever. And then when I was 26, I had this brand new baby and this overwhelming desire to protect them from air, like everything possible. And for whatever reason, that started bringing up my stuff from back when I was a kid, and I had to face it and I had to work on it. And so at that time, at 26, what I knew was go to therapy, which was great. I did the EMDR, look that up, and it was really helpful for me as far as taking out triggers. Like literally, I would go in and know a specific scent trigger, let's say, and then I would do the EMDR program. I want to say they were 30-minute sessions. I would walk out completely wiped out and exhausted, but my scent trigger was gone. It was amazing. So that is really cool, the EMDR program. And therapy, I'm not knocking therapy at all. It can be very helpful, and there are specific times that it's useful, but we are different. Therapy is head, using your intelligence to handle situations. Oh, if this happens, I need to do this, this, and this, or I need to say this, or I need to come across and understand their point of view. I mean, there's so many different ways. I'm not going to pretend to understand fully what therapy is, because it's definitely needed in some ways. But for grief, we need grief recovery. Grief is the heart. Think about it. When you are hurting, when you have a loss event, a death, a divorce, a move, a change of job, any of the more than 40 losses that a person can experience, the death of a pet. Oh my gosh, some people are really hurt over the death of a pet. So think about it. Where do you feel that? Do you feel it in your head? I don't think so, right? We feel loss in our heart, or somewhere in this like heart abdomen area in our core. And so grief recovery deals with the heart. We're talking about emotions. How did the stuff make you feel? Great. Bring up your feelings, and then I'm going to teach you steps on how to heal it. It is absolute practicals on how to help your grieving heart. I can't actually do the work for you. I'm just going to teach you the steps. I'm going to teach you how to apply them to all the old stuff, because like I said, I was sexually abused in 5th grade. Come at 26 is when that started to surface. And yes, by the way, I did do therapy and all of those things, which helped me with my scent triggers. I was still massively affected, and I didn't think so, because I could talk about it and not have emotion. So I must be fine, right? Wrong. So when I came across grief recovery, I made that a part of my work as well. Grieving that loss of control, that loss of safety, that loss of trust, loss of innocence. Gosh, there are so many losses that go along with that, right? So I did my grief work on that, even though I thought I was fine. I had talked about it. I talked in front of 500 people here, and 300 or 400 people here, and I thought, I'm good, I'm fine. But I did my grief work anyway, because I just wanted to be sure to get out every root. I heard a great analogy the other day about weeds, and how weeds grow into the ground, and those roots are slowly taking the nutrients away from whatever you're trying to go, like a carrot, for example. So we have to weed our gardens to take out the weeds, to leave the nutrients that are available in the soil for the thing that you actually want to grow. I don't want to grow weeds, so we weed our garden. So just like grief, we apply the grief steps to all the old stuff, because time heals nothing. Please know that time heals nothing. So we apply our grief steps to the things from the past, things that are coming in the future, things that we're afraid of that are on their way in the future. We apply our grief steps to everything, which is so magnificent. Imagine what a heart free of pain and worry and all that could be like. And then, so we apply our grief steps to make sure we're pulling out the bitter roots in our heart, bitterness, resentment, anything when you look back, if it's causing you pain or isolation or loneliness, that is grief. We can apply the steps toward any stage of our pain, no matter how new it is or how old it is, so that we feel better. We're basically weeding our heart so it's free to just absorb the love and the I don't know, joy and the good things that you have going on in your life right now, and not have to find its way through to sunlight. Weed your heart, get the bitterness out, get the resentment out. And then going back to the beginning, that is the difference between therapy and grief recovery, the grief recovery method. We're dealing with your emotion, the emotional truth. How did it make you feel? Good, let's work on that. Not what do you think about it, because it doesn't often matter what you think about being hurt or you hurting someone else or whatever. It matters how you feel about it. That's when you go back and you feel the pain, or you're thinking about the experience rather, you feel the pain or the isolation or the loneliness. You don't think the pain, isolation, and loneliness. So that's different. So I hope that clears it up a little bit, the difference between therapy and the grief recovery method. And amazingly, there are many therapists in the world who offer the grief recovery method as well. So it's an amazing program that even the therapists do use. So I hope that you will find this video helpful. Visit griefrecoverymethod.com to find the specialist nearest you, or even my website, griefrecoverywithrachelle.com, if you live near the Santa Clarita area. And I just hope that this is helpful for you, that you find help, find healing, go get it done. I love you. We'll talk with you next time.